Speaking of climate activism, globalism, and censorship, let's shift this to Bill Gates. Now, you all know Bill Gates. Bill Gates created Microsoft. Bill Gates created Windows, which if you're of a certain age, you remember all the pop-ups, all the viruses. You remember my main memory of Windows 95, is the Paint program. You probably had the Paint program, right? And you could fill a whole thing with the color, and then you could put other color. It was incredible. Anyway, he becomes a billionaire. Now he owns more farmland in the United States than anyone else. He somehow also thinks he's a COVID expert, and he has been advocating for more ESG programs. Now, ESG, I'm going to tell you a bit more about it in just a moment. We've talked about it before. Glenn Beck wrote a spectacular book about it. It's called Environmental, Social, and Government Programs, in effect. But here's Bill Gates advocating for more ESG collaborations.
We need to innovate to make the cost of doing it the green way far less than it is today, to get emissions all the way to zero. Not just the rich countries, but the entire world. It's not so much who you don't invest in, it's who you do invest in. Driving innovation with some incentives like the tax credits that the U.S. has now, that's the right policy mix. We did get 3 bills that went through Congress. 2 were bipartisan. 1 was a reconciliation bill, all of which increased the funding for climate, in total about $500 billion extra dollars. So the combination of these new bills plus private efforts like Breakthrough Energy Catalyst mean you're going to get to go to a lot of plant openings where people will say, okay, this is green steel, this is green cement, this is green hydrogen. And a lot of those will be placed in places where the hydrocarbon jobs are going away, so people will get a sense that this is a just transition.
All right, so let me be clear about one thing, which is that I really think that Bill Gates is an evil person. I think that the power and the money has gone to his head where he thinks it is his divine right to reorganize or rejigger the world in a way that he wishes it to be. The idea, not only, first off, that you would say to any country, but you take, okay, let's take the rich countries first, because he addressed rich countries, that you'd say, you have to do this to your economy. You have to make it more green because we wish you to. Well, every nation should decide that for themselves. That's the problem with globalization, right? That's number one. But putting aside the rich countries, the poor countries right now that are going through their industrial revolutions, if you take a country, you could take India or China that are years behind us in their industrial revolutions, that are using coal and these other things. What right do we have, or the globalists have, to say, no, you cannot do that? And by the way, fossil fuels are still to this very moment getting more people out of poverty and doing more good for the world than they are bad. We've done many shows on this. Jordan Peterson has talked about it a lot, Bjorn Lomborg. This is something that is real, whether they like it or not.
If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe to our channel so you'll be sure to see similar videos from BlazeTV, with the added bonus of signaling YouTube that your voice and opinion still matters. And if you're looking for more great conservative content, check out one of the 2 videos suggested here. And let's go.